Hi everyone, it's Andrew and we are here for a little bench update with this. You haven't seen the Hummer for a little while, I think it's fair to say, and it's been on the shelf while I did the B16, the little WPL 6x6, primarily because I wanted to test the paint job on the B16 first for this, because this comes out of the box. This is of course the HG. Is it the 402? I cannot for the life of me remember, but I think it's the 402. But it's the HG Hummer, of course, and it comes as it shows on the front there. This one comes in olive green. They do a camo version. You can see it there. They do a camo version, but I don't really think it's. I don't know. It doesn't look right, and it wasn't as cheap as this one. So I figured I'd get the cheap one and paint it myself. So that's what's been going on. I've been stocking up on wheels and tyres, and I'm going to show you those as well. So this little episode is all about what I'm doing to my HG Hummer. So without further ado, shall we go and get it and have a little look and see where I'm up to? It's quite an impressive beast. Okay, and here it is. Now we're going to talk more about the details in a moment. I'm going to get the camera down and I'm going to show you much more of a kind of bird's eye view and get you in close to this beautiful rig. But I just want to give you an overview of the whole thing first. It's in obviously two main parts. I've taken the chassis out and I'm painting this black. I have painted it black. It's almost ready to go, I guess, because the three-tone NATO camouflaged versions did have black chassis and black guardrails at the front, and black wheels. Come to the wheels shortly. Now, we'll say this is, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is all metal except for this horrible bendy plastic bit at the front, which I know where I can get a replacement metal one, but it's quite expensive, and they don't appear to have any in stock at the moment. I wish I'd bought one at the same time I bought the gun turret, more of which later as well, because this is bent. It's not even straight. I mean, anyway, so this is all black. It weighs a ton. I don't really know how much it weighs. I don't have any bathroom scales. Denial is a wonderful thing, but this is pretty heavy. I'd say this is a good, I don't know, I'd say this is almost 3 kilos on its own. This is almost as heavy as my axial rig, my 10-2, just on its own. It's a substantial bit of kit, this. The shell, the body shell, is a really nice thing, and what's most impressive about this rig for me, comes with a full instruction book, full breakdown. I know it's an RTR, but it is a kit that they've made for you. So everything comes apart, everything breaks down, you know, everything comes off and comes apart. So you can run it open top if you want. They did do them open topped. There are conversions to turn this into a kind of flatbed arrangement. The Humvee, if you're not 100%, from what I've researched, the Humvee was originally designed and specified as a kind of cargo carrier, as a fast cargo carrying light truck, to shuttle stuff to the front line and back and run logistics operation, you know, missions. It wasn't really a frontline patrol vehicle. It was never designed for that, which is not, you know, which is no surprise then that it makes a pretty rubbish frontline patrol vehicle by all accounts, gutless and vulnerable. But anyway, we get off the point really. But so the kit itself, everything comes apart. You'll notice these windows are taken out. You can undo the backs of the doors, take the inside of the windscreen out, and take the glazing out. And, you know, things like that are really kind of awesome. We know the bonnet opens, right? So there would be an engine in there, but it even looks like a real chassis in here. It is a wonderful thing to work on, and I have my doubts about the durability of the sort of cast alloy metal that it is, but you know, hell's bells, man! It's an amazing detailed kit truck. So what have I done to this so far? I have primed the body shell and I have painted it a flat olive drab green. So the inside is untouched. I'm not really going to go and do much on the inside paint wise. I am doing a little bit on the inside, we'll come to that shortly. But the outside has got this olive drab on it, and it's going to have the three-tone natal camouflage put over the top, of course, as I was mentioning earlier. So that's really where that's kind of where I did that at the weekend a couple of days ago, along with the chassis. And since then, I've been working on the part of the inside that I'm going to come to next. So we'll take a quick break, get this cleared away, and we'll get the camera in close, alright? Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the big gun, the BFG, which is a 3D printed CROWS system, 50 caliber. CROWS system is a real thing. It's a real genuine copy of this, and the idea with this is it sits on top of the Hummer or the armoured fighting vehicle and is controlled from inside. So instead of the gunner having his head sticking out of the turret where he can get shot, obviously you have a basically remote control gun, right? So I mean that's the two best things in the world, right? It's had a coat of primer. The gun and the ammo belt is still primer grey because they're going to be a different colour, but the body of the turret is green. But it's an impressive beast, as you can see. Beautifully cast gun, absolutely amazingly cast gun. The cooling vents, the cooling jacket, and so on. The barrel changing handle. Yeah, I mean the charging handle at the back and the trigger, and man, it is a work of art. Ooh. So I think the gun and the gun belt have been maybe cast in resin. I don't know. The barrel is a brass tube that you get, and I've cut it down to length, so that is as best I can see scale length. And I've wrapped a bit of heat shrink around the barrel at the end to give it that kind of. It has a raised, I don't even know what you call it really, but a raised end to the barrel. It really should have a little sight on the end as well, but I have no idea how to fix one of those, something like that, onto here, so we didn't bother. I would argue that because it's a remote control version, it probably doesn't need a manual sight on the top. Here's the roof of the Hummer, so here's the big turret, the big hatch that you know moves around and opens up and everything else. The turret actually sits right in the middle. This little lip at the front here sits over the edge of the roof, like so. But the roof's got a seam in it, as you can see. So that's going to be a little bit of a thing. Oh, well, actually, no. Now I notice. You just look at this stuff every day and see different things. Can you guys make out there? There is actually an indent. They have actually cut out of this mounting plate an indent to fit. So I don't have to worry about taking that off. Goodness me. As you can see, it screws on. So it's got two screw holes, so it'll just go straight through the roof, bolt in from the inside, I would guess. So it should be on there nice and strong, and hopefully I won't smash into too many branches and things. Let alone roll it. Don't even talk about rolling the truck over. So that's the gun. Now, the other part to the CROWS system is the interior. So I'll put a picture up of the interior so you can see what it looks like in real life. The gunner station does appear to be behind the driver, so that's what I've done here. And I've built up, last night I built up a styrene support frame with just some spare styrene rectangular tubing. I was going to bolt it to there's a metal support here behind the seat, but it says metal. I thought it was plastic. I was going to just drill through and bolt it on, but it's metal, so I had to glue it on, which is not great. Hopefully it won't get too much stress and snap off. I've got some sort of, I don't know what these are. They look like little mini servo horns or something, but whatever they are, they will hold my screen, which is in development here. So it is clear. I'm going to put a picture behind. I was going to print one off today, but I've been too busy at work. So I was going to print a picture off here, and so you could see it behind the glass screen, like a Target or something, or a BBC test card, as has been suggested. So that's going to sit on there like so. Okay, so wheels and tyres. These are the originals. These are the kit RTR truck tyres. And I said in the unboxing video that I really liked them, and I haven't really changed my mind. The tyres themselves are grippy. They're a very realistic tread pattern for the real tyres, as scale as it can be anyway, without being, obviously if they scale it down fully, it will be virtually useless as a tyre, but the tread pattern is very reminiscent of the real thing, aside from the annoying seam line down the middle. And yeah, I mean, they're grippy, they're a good size, the height, the width, it's all looks really good on the truck. So well done to them for that. These are not rubbish, cheap, kind of RTR tyres off, they're really good tyres. The problem I have with them is the rims. These are 1.9s, of course, and I'd ordered some military solid rims with much more detail on them. The real ones have got countless bolts around the outside, not just like 8, and much more detail basically. Now I ordered some cheap ones off Banggood, but they cancelled the order. They couldn't fulfill it, so that was a non-starter. And in the meanwhile, I'd also realised that the one thing that also bothered me about these was they're just too big. The rims are just too big. The 1.9s are too big. The real thing is much more of a balloon tyre look to it. Much more balloony. So I couldn't obviously make the tyre any bigger because then you run into clearance problems. So I had to make the rim smaller. So I've gone for 155s. And my choice as far as getting roughly the same diameter. Now this is a bit bigger, I'll be honest with you. These tyres are a few millimetres bigger than the stock ones. They're about the same width overall, but the treads themselves are a little thinner. They've just got a little bit more of a belly on the side than these very square-shouldered looking. Anyway, but they look a little thinner, I guess. Are these RC4 drive? What are they? There it is. In extra sticky compound. Now I like these because they do look reasonably. They've got the same kind of big blocks on the outside, little blocks in the middle. A bit too much, Anyway, I've decided that they're going to upscale. My guys have upscaled their tyres. Not going to happen in real life because, as it turns out, the real life Humvees have a very odd tyre size. There's only like 3 different types of tyre that you could ever fit to a Humvee rim or something weird. So I'm taking a bit of an artistic license with this. The wheels that are going to go, the rims that are going to go inside are the Boomracing standard 16-hole steel. So they look, they're not, they're about as unrealistic as these ones. However, they are unrealistic in a better way. I think they're more accurately inaccurate. But they do, once put inside here, you do get much more of a balloon effect than you were getting with this. Okay, so this has got a much more pleasing overall look, and I think it's certainly going to have more squash. It's going to have a nice bit of fatness. These are dual stage foams as well that I ordered inside. I'm not sure what's inside. This is a standard foam in this one. So I'll have a bit of squash, and then I'll have quite a hard foam on the inside, which is important, I think, on the front wheels especially, because they're going to be turning and digging, and I don't want, it's a very, as I say, heavy rig, so I don't really want the tyre rolling and generally, deforming as it is asked to turn. So that's what's going on here. They've got lovely detail on the sidewall, if you can see that. Lovely sidewall detail going on, lots of writing and stuff. So yeah, I'm foregoing true replica points for some beautiful looking things. I may not run the hubcap because the real Humvees didn't have a big hubcap sticking out, a big I don't know, locker or whatever it is. They just had almost like a wheel nut. That was it. Obviously ours aren't very scale, but it'll be it probably will look better than the big thing sticking out. These are the black ones. These are the ones I've actually painted. That's just primer on this one. So there's a black finished one, and I think you'll agree it's going to look pretty. It'll look pretty good with that wrapped around it. In a military fashion. Put a real picture up again so you can see the real thing with the black chassis and then the cam. I think it's going to look utilitarian and hopefully very reminiscent to anybody who watches it, who sees it, who's actually served in one. Fair play to you. They look a nightmare. You know, I'm not going to get into what I think of the US Army's procurement. So yeah, hopefully I'm going to get the camo done, or started at least at the weekend, in a few days' time. I would imagine maybe the next time you see something to do with the Humvee, it might be nearly finished. It is really just a paint job, isn't it? So there you go. Anyway, thank you for watching. And we seem to be coming out of the virus thing, out of this pandemic thing. So hopefully we can all get out there into the great wild and scare dog walkers with our tiny trucks again. All right. Thank you for watching. Good night. And God bless, if you believe in that sort of thing. Otherwise, I don't know. What would be an appropriate fitting end to this? I don't know. Just, you know. Hey ho. Well, that was awkward, wasn't it? Anyway, I'm going to go get a pizza now. Now I'm going to get on with this. Alright. See you all in due course.